right. Getting set up. Thanks for joining. I'm your host, EJ Parker. We are live at Vintage Classic Solutions. We're going to look at something very unique and historical and important and primitive and rustic and all these great adjectives, right? To describe all these old things. I'm still getting set up here. So it's a very large collection of baby nursing bottles, which are baby bottles, right? But these are really old. How old? They're so old they look like this, and they're made of glass. So if you like that, stay tuned. And please subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. I bought a large collection of historic baby bottles a couple of years ago. And it came with this book, which I'm going to share with all of you. This book is written by the owner of this collection. It's probably over 1,000 bottles, and I haven't even gone through all of them yet. We're going to discover together. I have a box number 2. I think I got 11 boxes of baby bottles. We're going to go through box number 2 because box number 2 is it's a fun box. I've gone through it. Now there could be some surprises, but there's things you won't expect. So stay tuned for that while I get set up. If you like this kind of stuff, please subscribe. I'm on a mission and a goal to reach 1,000 subscribers by Christmas. I'll probably get that in a couple days because of great people like you. So thank you so much. Let me see. I'm surrounded by bottles. One false move and that's it, folks. This glass, glass is only dangerous when it's broken, like a heart, right? All right, I think I got everything kind of set up. I gotta put this book right there. I need to get my scissors and cut this box open. These all stay in my shop, and they're sealed up in case they tumble over. They won't break. There's probably 80 bottles per box. And most of these are for sale on my eBay store, Vintage Classic Solutions. So if you like what you're seeing, this collection is actually one that's for sale. Almost all of these. Let's see here. Gotta find my knife and cut this box open. Hope everyone's doing great. We have a ton of snow where this is live from Northeast Ohio. Vintage Classic Solutions. I'm your host, EJ Parker. Thank you for checking in. We're going to go through an amazing collection of very, very old antique baby bottles, nursing bottles, things the pioneers used, handmade, super unique and original, just like you and me, right? It highlights the importance of being original in you, being unique. It makes you more beautiful. All right, got that. I think we're good. I don't want the music to be too loud or too soft. All right, so thanks for joining. My name is EJ Parker. I am your host here at Vintage Classic Solutions. Yeah, we're going to look at today a collection of rare and historic baby bottles. This, we'll start with this one. This is probably from like the early mid 1800s. I have featured this once before on my channel, but it's a good show starter because just look at the damn thing. It is amazing. It is blue, swirl, and white. This is called nail-sea glass. Nail-sea glass originated in London. Glass blowers in New England carried on the tradition, and this is the result. This is a baby bottle from the early mid 1800s, and this right here is a nipple. It's a piece of leather, like just sewn around the top of the neck of the bottle, and that's your primitive baby nipple. Can you believe that? But you had to do what you had to do. And it's an actual flask. Yep. This is a baby bottle, and this is the baby nipple. This is probably from around 1830, 1840. This is blown in a glass house in New England. This one is not for sale. This came from a very old collection of baby bottles by Diane Ostrander. She wrote the book on baby bottles. How do I know? Look, it's sitting right here. I bought her collection and her book. The book itself is a collector's item. I think the book itself is worth like $300 or $400 or more because it's got a lot of valuable information. Well, this is her book, all her notes. It's an amazing thing to have, and I've learned a lot, and I am still learning a lot from it. That's why I got to share it with all of you. My name is EJ Parker. I am your host here at Vintage Classic Solutions. All right, so let's see. So this is an amazing glass baby bottle. Now this is a flask technically because it doesn't stand up on its own. It's crude on the bottom, like the pontil where it was produced. It's been sanded though, I feel, so it's not sharp for a baby. But it's a glass flask. It was flat. You do see some honest wear. But yeah, it's remarkable that, you know, it's to me, so my thoughts about baby bottles, I didn't know a lot about them at first. And I think the topic can be, oh, baby bottles, you know, I'm not interested. Usually the big stars of the show are, you know, people collect beer bottles or wine bottles, or, you know, I collect black glass bottles from the 1700s and whatever, and like soda bottles. But this is actually, baby bottles are important because if you think about it, these are what, you know, help people, no matter what your background is or your race or whatever. These help people move about into unexplored areas, and this was like a lifeline, right? You put your whatever you had in here. But this is actually a baby flask. This is like a pumpkin seed flask, probably from the mid 1800s, hand blown. You see, it's got like a applied lip, so that was just like a piece of molten glass they just wrapped around the neck. And the bottom it's sharp, it's semi-sharp. That's where it was the pontil, and it would just lay flat, and they would put some kind of nipple on there, and this would be a baby bottle. It's like an old flask. I love the simplicity of this. This is primitive, right? This is a primitive bottle. All right, we got a lot more. All right, so let me move along to this one. And then we'll jump into that box. So this is an amazing flask from 1830 from a town called Manaway, Ohio, which is about 40 minutes south of where I am right now. I'm your host, EJ Parker. We are live at Vintage Classic Solutions, my vintage and antique store. We are featuring a collection of historic and rare nursing bottles. This one is like a pilgrim baby bottle, essentially. It's got some information from the prior collector, 1830. That's like 200 years ago, right? That's crazy. It's got tons of scratches on it. It's scratched to hell. It's kind of hard to see. This reminds me of like a cucumber you'd find in your garden, right? But collectors like these for the ribs. This one's got 16 ribs. The ribs are what they sound like, these little ribs around the bottle. If you count those, there's 16 of them. Does that mean anything of value? I think maybe it's more complicated to make more ribs. So let me show you another one. Now that we're talking about ribs, right? This is another rare baby flask or nursing flask with 32 ribs. Check that out. It's got like a cucumber vibe, right? This would be a nursing bottle. So this is like what the pilgrims would use. People exploring the world had to have some kind of vessel to keep milk in for the babies to continuate the human race, and this is what it was. I mean, this is what like this like the lifeline, right? And you can see, yeah, little doughboy, yeah, the detail is crazy, yes. And you can see there's like there's imperfections throughout, these little seed marks, which collectors like because it just gives it more personality. Again, this is a flask. It won't stand upright. They have to lay flat. These are like these are considered museum quality pieces because it transcends the object. It's not just a baby bottle. This is what kind of helped people explore the unknown and helped us, take care of the infants while we're doing that, because we didn't have anything else. I mean, there could have been, I know Native Americans use leather satchels or sacks of various animal hides and skins and bladders. And I'm sure early pioneers did that too. The French trappers, some of the earliest Caucasian European explorers ever in North America were the French. Canadians. I have some of that heritage. My grandmother spoke Cajun, which is a French, an old style French, but she was from New Orleans. My point is that the French fur trappers were some of the first Europeans in North America, and they met the Native Americans along Lake Erie, and then they settled down into Ohio. Now, some of the one of the oldest maps I've read about this before. I forget the source, but there is an extremely old map of the United States, way before it was the U.S. And there's a landmark, a trading post somewhere near Twinsburg, Ohio. It was a famous landmark for fur trappers, and this is way before the British got here. This is something like no one even knows about. I barely even know about this. There's something about Ohio historically that was quite important that I'm still learning about. But the Native American presence here was there was a lot of Native Americans here, and then the French came down before the British. So my point is, these things were like the lifelines that kept the infants alive. This is again 1820, so people were settling, into different areas, into the wild, or however you want to describe the wilderness. So these bottles are very important, just to keep humans alive. I mean, that's how I look at this. It transcends just a glass vessel, right? A 32 ribbed early 1800s baby bottle. If this baby bottle could talk, yeah. And this one would have even more to say because it's just got so many scratches. It's fascinating that a piece of glass can survive since 1830 and not be broken. This is from Manaway, Ohio, circa 1830. The collector I bought this from, she was the leading historian pretty much of baby bottles in North America. So I trust her, her provenance on this. Manaway is about 30 minutes south of here. So maybe I should do a video, I should bring this back to Manaway and be like, "You're back home." That's what I do with my bottles. I drive around in the car with them. My bottles are my friends. And if they're your friends too, you're at the right spot. Please subscribe and like. My name is EJ Parker. I am your host here at Vintage Classic Solutions, my vintage and antique store, my passion, my love. All right, now we're jumping into box number 2. I probably have to put that in the title so I don't confuse myself because I have 11 boxes. We won't do them all today, obviously. All right, so we're going to jump into this together. So this is a Figural bottle. What's a Figural? Well, it is what it sounds like. It's a bottle shaped in a figure of something. This one, now I wish every bottle was this clear cut. Patented June 2nd, 1874. Man, I wish every bottle was that easy to date. I spend half my waking hours trying to date old bottles. I love it. So what the hell is this? This is a Figural of a baby crying. Now let's tap into some knowledge with this book. I'm going to show you the fun of research. 143. This is a professional collection. 143. We're going to go into this book together and see what 143 holds for us, because there's no way I can memorize every fact about every one of these goddamn bottles. 143. All right. Interesting. So it says 143, Crying Baby Figural. See my book. So what I'm looking at is this is her rough draft of her publication which is like the leading publication of baby bottles from the pioneer era to 1980. And this is like her rough draft, so not everything is in here, which is, this book itself is a collector's item. But I'm still gonna look in the front. I think she had something. This is from 1874. She has a price of $80. Now that's a price tag from probably 1985. So, I just sold something on eBay. I got a, yeah, thank you, my lovely eBay buyer. I just sold something on eBay. Got the highlight on my screen. I think I sold a cast iron eagle, a very large one. If you want to see me pack like a 30-pound, 4-foot eagle, tune in tomorrow at 6 a.m. So this one's not in the book, but I'll tell you what I know about these. So figurals are very, very popular collectibles because they are what they sound like. They're figurals of people's face. They're figurals of, you know, like a vegetable, like a fruit, a pumpkin. It could be a log cabin. It could be an old-timey car. But people like this genre of bottles because they have their own, you know, certain look to them, right? This is a baby crying. This may have been an actual nursing bottle, but since I don't have her notes on this bottle, I'm not really sure. So let's move along. I'm going to try to display these all out in front of me. It's a tight, yes, I saw that eagle, cool. It's a tight rope walk sometimes getting around all these bottles. Oh, this is good. This is great. This is great. Folks, you're in for a treat. If you like what you see, please subscribe. I'm your host, EJ Parker, your curator, your spaceship driver, pilot. All right, this is, check this out. This is a baby bottle, folks. Travel back in time. Look at this. It has a price tag of $25. Now this one, that's an old price tag. This is called what is it? Meritor. Little Folk Feeder. Maw of Barnett. And you have the metrics on the side, like the, you know, ounces. Man, oh man. So this is like a double-sided feeder. Now let me read to you about this. Let me see if I can find this one. It's just because when you think baby bottle, at least when I think baby bottles, you think of that quintessential shape of a baby bottle, but you don't, you know, this doesn't pop into your head, this shape. This is a double-ended nursing bottle. Let me read you a little bit about this. These are blown in a mold from the late 1800s, also known as a banana-shaped banana boat or twin bottle. All that are known about the double-ended nursing bottles are believed to be of English manufacture. This bottle is very popular in England, but was never widely used within the United States. Although, try to get a good shot and read at the same time. Although there is a report of a double-ended bottle being retailed in this country, the USA, it cannot be verified at the present. The fittings consist of a pull-on nipple and a rubber valve for a vented end of the bottle. This nurser was supposed to be very difficult to use because the valve had to be continuously adjusted. Interesting. So this is more popular within within Britain, the UK, than the US. I don't see any. Oh, I do. Made in England. Well, there you go, folks. This bottle can talk. Made in England. A bottle from the other side of the pond. I'm going to have a drink from my contemporary plastic water bottle for a minute. Hope you're enjoying your beverage of choice. Coffee, tea. I'm sure it's 5 o'clock somewhere. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to show you gorgeous antiques. All right, let's move along here. Let's look. What is this? I'm discovering two. Oh, cool. Yeah, this is a nice bottle. This is primitive. This sits upright. This is an old baby bottle. This, we'll do some research. She has a price. There's a pontil. It's part of the making process. The collector notes. She has a price tag of $25 on this. These prices are probably from like the late 80s, if I had to guess. This has a cloth nipple. So this is full of milk, right? It's 1840. You don't have a rubber nipple. You can't go to the store. You know, that's 40 miles away and there's snow and your horse is sick, right? So, and if you walk, the wolves will probably eat you and the bears will probably finish the carcass. That's the reality of it, right? That's why these are important. So they used a cloth nipple. Baby would just suckle on that, and that's it. Let's see what more details about this bottle we can find within the book. This is number 533. Let me see. All right, so let's see what this says in the collector book. 533. All right. Well, I play DJ. EJ the DJ, right? Yeah. Actually, I'm a bass player, actually. All right, here we go. It's in the book. And music. Rag nursing bottle. It says usually a free-blown flash nursing bottle with a a mouth large enough to accommodate a rag inserted into it to serve as a nipple. And there you have it, folks. So it would purposely be made with a larger lip opening so you could roll up a cloth and use this as a primitive nipple for a baby feeder. Yeah, and that which makes sense because necessity is the mother of invention, right? So to keep your baby alive at all costs, make it easy, right? So that's what they did. This is a gorgeous primitive baby bottle. There's no date on this. I would guess mid 1800s, 1840. No, wait. Is it blown in a mold? No, it's free blown. Yeah, so a free blown bottle is usually before 1880 because that's when mechanized machines came in and ruined the originality of bottles. You'll start seeing seams and stuff like patent numbers on the base. This is free blown because it's just not perfect. It's like waves within. It's like whittled, like almost like someone carved it from wood, right? So this is like a primitive baby bottle, and the more you look at it, the more you see the imperfections, and that's what collectors love. If you're looking to sell bottles, just whatever looks the weirdest, get and then sell because weird sells. Originality sells. So be yourself and be original. EJ told you. All right, let's move along, shall we? If you like this kind of stuff, please subscribe. My name is EJ Parker. I am your host here at Vintage Classic Solutions, my vintage and antique store. My love, my passion, my dream has come true. All right, and I'm going to teach you how to make your dream come true. Just subscribe and I'll tell you how. So this is another, let's see. This is another double-sided or submarine baby bottle. These are popular in England, as we just read. Not very popular within the United States. It says made in England. This is a very small one, roughly 4 inches long. This was, I think, blown in a mold. These are probably late 1800s, I think. And the base has a lot of scratches. It's an odd design, but I wonder how that got started. What was the functionality of this? Maybe it was upside down. They would hold upside down, like on their belly, like this, maybe. Because it wouldn't make sense for them to have it like this, because they couldn't put their little head up. So I think it'd probably be on their belly. They'd be like, yum, 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 yum. Some uncle got the rum out, and, he's like, hey, he thought he figured something out, right? Take a nap in the rum bottle, just like a baby. All right, folks, it gets better. Where else are you going to see this? God, dog. Where the hell else, besides Vintage Classic Solutions, are you going to find a Mother Darling's Nurser by Gray and Houston out of Cincinnati, Ohio? This is the original box. This has got to be from 1880. Holy crap. This box, how the hell does this survive? It even smells super old. Look at this. God, dog. So if you what? It's time to take a trip back in time, folks. Look at this. You go to the store, get a baby bottle. It's all old timey out. Let's see. I think this is for sale on my eBay store right now. It's not cheap. Because what the hell are you gonna find on one of these? Look at this thing. God, dog it. I gotta be careful because sometimes there's fixtures. Oh, look at this. Look at this. This is a glass fixture. You see how my life is? Oh, I gotta, it's glass fixtures everywhere. Look at this. This got these gorgeous little imperfections. Oh man. This is time capsule. This cork is all original. So that little glass, that extremely potentially deadly glass tube goes in this baby bottle. And then, so this is not complete 100%, I must say, because what will happen is, and I have sold some complete ones, there's a primitive rubber tube that was impossible to clean, and led to many infants' deaths, tragically, would be on, so there'd be like a little tube with a little rubber nipple, and the baby would sip on that, and this glass straw would be in there. God dog it. Let's figure out let's get to the details of this. So this is M45. This box is so fragile. You can buy that right now on my eBay store. The box, it's there, but it is what it is. It's. I'm not gonna tape it, but it's really weak. It just is what it is. I mean, where else do you get another nursing? All right, let me research this thing. What did I say? M45. All right. Let's see what we got. Okay. So what this is, Mother's Darling, circa 1890. This is a turtle. This glass bottle style is called a turtle bottle because it looks like a turtle, right? It's blown in a mold with an applied lip. What does that mean? It's blown in a mold, and then this lip is applied after the fact. So and the visual aesthetics reflect that, right? You can see this mold line, and then you can see the lip is like a ring almost looking. It's got some imperfections. This is 1890. 8-ounce graduated scale. It's made in Cincinnati, Ohio. Ohio was a manufacturing powerhouse in the late 1800s and early 1900s. This has the box. I can't believe it. That is incredible. It's like a museum piece. Now, the challenge is not breaking the damn thing because that little, I'll show you again. This glass straw goes inside to get the milk, and then there should be a like a tube. A lot of these bottles, this is a turtle bottle, but there's a very similar bottle that had like an hourglass shape, and those are called murder bottles. Now they're called murder bottles. Why? Because tragically, it murdered so many infants because the parents couldn't clean the bottles correctly, and some of the like the celebrity doctors of the era even recommended only cleaning your baby bottle once every 2 to 3 weeks. Like in the newspaper, they'd say that. It's just a goddamn miracle the human race survived the Victorian era. I mean, there was arsenic and everything. I mean, it's just crazy. Like we humans got a taste of industrialism and you know, chemistry, and we don't know what to do with it yet. I hope this thing doesn't happen with AI. That's why we gotta stay on top of AI. Don't be afraid of it. AI should be afraid of you. Not in a malicious way, but I don't know. AI, I use AI a lot, but AI still has its shortcomings, and I realize AI is learning from me. You wanna know how I know that? Listen to this story. While I reorganize a couple things. So I was doing a live stream on my channel here, and please subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. I was doing a live stream on late 19th century German print etchings out of the Dresden Gallery. Yeah, that's right. And then, and I have like 30 of them, and I'm selling some of them in my eBay store. I still have to list some of them. But before I go live, I like to make sure I have the stuff fresh in my brain. So I did a quick AI background, like a quick AI refresher. And the photos that AI was showing me looked familiar. So I said, well, wait a minute, this looks familiar. So I clicked on the photo. Guess what? It brought me to my Vintage Classic Solutions, to my eBay store. AI was going through my listings and getting that information and feeding it to me, and even showing me my photos. So I gave the knowledge to AI, and then it was giving it back to me. I still think that's odd, but it proves a point somehow. I'm still I'm trying to figure out what point it proves, but I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know. I need some water. Also, so AI will reflect, you know, people around it, us, right? AI will be a reflection of society unless someone just steps in and, you know, puts their thumb on the scale or whatever. All right, let's look at some more remarkably old I hate to say new old stock when it's in this condition, but I guess it's kind of like new old stock. It's old stock. All right. I'm trying to keep this a little bit systematic because these are all for sale, and if I screw up the boxes when I go to find them, because I have like a million bottles, and if I sell one, I can't find it, I freak out. All right. So let's see what this is. Oh man, this is so old. This is so old. This is a nursing bottle. Look at this. This Santro nursing bottle. This is West 55th Street, New York City. Man, Julius Schmidt Incorporated. Let me read you about what this is. I have this in my book. This one, I'm so scared to take it out because this one's really expensive and this box is so fragile. Let me see what I got on this one. This is a Santro. I want to get a date on this because that's the mind-boggling thing for me. That these things can survive that long. Let me see. I might have to open it. Opening it like a... Oh man, this box. Oh, this is full of peril. I'm trying to see if I can see the collectors. I'll show you what I can show you. It's really snug in there, and I'm scared to pull it out. This is for sale on my eBay store, and I list it with the photos, and I don't want to damage it. I'm trying to get a date on this. Made in Austria. Oh wow. Austrian-made glass baby bottle. This has to be from like 1890 as well, just from that text and the visuals on this, like the graphics. It couldn't be earlier than 1880, and it couldn't be 1900. So I feel safe to say that. This one makes me nervous though, because this box is so old. I'm just gonna put it over here. See, it's already these chips. Yeah. I tell you what, it's fun being a collector and a dealer, but you're a steward of these things, and you don't want to be the bonehead to break it. You know what I mean? Like this bottle's been around. Like this bottle's from what did I say? 1874, right? It's made it this far into time. I don't want to be the doofus to drop the goddamn thing. All right. Thanks for joining. We are live. My name is EJ Parker. I'm your host here at Vintage Classic Solutions. We're looking at a historic collection of baby bottles. Holy crap. Is this what I think it is? Oh, maybe. Check this out. This is another this is called a Buckeye. Who else has this kind of stuff? Look at this. A feeding bottle in the original box, folks. This says feeding bottle, the Walding, Kinnan and Marvin Company, wholesale druggist out of Toledo, Ohio. All right. Oh my God, this is complete. Jeez. So this is crazy. Inside has that glass straw, so that would get the milk out, and you have this cork. Nice. Well, how will the baby get the milk out? Check this out. This is a complete one. This is a super old nipple. Look at this, decrepit nipple. Look at this, frozen in time. Is there the? Okay, so it's not not totally complete because the tube is either disintegrated or it's gone. There's a little like a rag in there. I've sold some with the actual tube, and it's a primitive rubber tube, and how they stay intact is remarkable. Let's figure out how old this is exactly. So this is B69. That's incredible. Let's see, B69. Let's see what it says here. The Buckeye feeding bottle. I'll try to hold it while I talk about it. It's like a bull. See that bullseye? It's embossed. Circa 1890. This is a turtle-shaped bottle. Only the box is known at this time as originally retailed. Has contained the New York feeder or Baby's Delight. The Buckeye was distributed by Walding, Kinnan, and Marvin Druggist out of Toledo, Ohio. Note, This bottle may have been produced. It may have been a product of the Buckeye Glass Company in Martins Ferry, Ohio, which operated from 1790 to 1900, and had a branch factory at Bowling Green, Ohio, not far from Toledo. The factory mark was a double O. It is interesting to speculate whether it was a bullseye design or the double O. So, Martins Ferry, Ohio is a very historically important place if you know like glass. Like so much stuff came out of Martins Ferry, Ohio. I gotta go live from Martins Ferry, Ohio. I don't think it's too far from here. But there's so many historic, famous companies, glass makers. I think even some pottery out of Martins Ferry, like Fenton. There's just so many. So this was probably made in Martins Ferry, Ohio. This is an 1890 baby bottle called a turtle bottle, hence the shape, right? It wouldn't sit upright, it lays flat. And that glass tube, which seems very safe to give to a baby, right, is so thin, and that would get the milk out, and there would be a rubber tube, and then this little rubber nipple, and then your baby would just, have their milk. I mean, and I think the star of the show, I mean, it's a package, right? It's the complete thing. It's amazing. But the box is just a survivor, because you just don't see that. You don't see that. Right? I mean, come on, look at this. There's a little hand, like 94. Is that how much it costs? 94 cents? I don't know. Buckeye, I know it's backwards, right? Buckeye. 1890. This is like new old stock. This is from a very historic collection of antique baby bottles. My name is EJ Parker. I'm your host and curator here at Vintage Classic Solutions. Please subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. I do this all the time. I have collections of everything. I have thousands of more bottles. Older, newer, so if you like this kind of stuff, please subscribe. I can't show them all today, obviously. I'd love to, but I gotta eat and I gotta go out and shovel the snow. But we have a lot more in store, so stick around. Let me get some more bottles in front of all you. Let me see here. So yeah, it does become somewhat stressful because you're the steward of these bottles, and you have a lot of them, and you want to get them to the proper owners, but they're also made of glass, and I have stacks of them, and I don't know. What you gonna do? All right, so this one's gonna go back. This box is in pretty good condition, but it's from 1890. A lot of glass was made in Ohio, Toledo, Bowling Green. Pottery was made in Ohio. Rubber was made in Ohio. Steel, it was all here, and then it all went abroad. All right, let's see what else we got. This looks important. Let's see. What is this? Oh, this is another Figural. A Figural is a bottle shaped like a figure. It could be anything. A piece of fruit, a car, a log cabin. This is a young man straddling a barrel. I don't know if this is a baby bottle. This is quite thin. This is blown in a mold. Let's see what the experts say in the book. This is number 226. We are live, by the way. I'm your host, EJ Parker, at Vintage Classic Solutions, my antique and vintage store, and my YouTube channel, and my way of life, my passion. I'm following my passion. I hope you are too. And if you're not, I can help you do that. Just go ahead and subscribe, and I'll show you how. This is number 226. Let's see what the book says. This is a famous, as famous as a book about antique nursing bottles can be. Nursing bottle guide that I bought with this huge collection around me of baby bottles. Okay, yes, we're getting close. 226. Let's see what it says. It's not in the book. That must mean, I don't know. It's numbered. She has a price guide here. Now these are prices from probably from like 1989. So it's kind of fun to see those too as well, because sometimes these prices are actually hot. Sometimes, now if you're an antique and vintage dealer, you may know that. You probably know this, depending upon your age. So like in the like the 80s and the early 90s, prices of things like this were quite high in the collectible market. Um, Pottery, cast iron toys from the late 1800s, tin toys from the early 1900s, the wind up ones, because people didn't have a clear vision of the rarity because eBay wasn't there yet. So prices reflected that. So prices were a bit higher because people believed their items were a little bit rarer than they were. Why? Because we didn't have the reference. We didn't have eBay. It was just like, well, you'd go to an expo in your major city, take a look around, talk to your fellow collectors, and then try to visually, in your brain, guess the population of an item. Folks were a little bit more optimistic, hence the prices were high. Prices dropped from that point after eBay, because eBay exposed in a almost imperial, like a objective way that this item is not rare because right now you could buy 20 of these right now on eBay, or this item is rare because you can't find it on eBay. So eBay was, I mean, it was good and bad. I mean, I think it's good because I sell on it for full time for a living, and but in some ways, it has taken the thrill out of the hunt for your favorite vintage or antique item, because instead of having to go to an antique store or travel across the country or however you look for your items, now you can just go online and be like, that one. But there is some good to that as well, because now you can be a little bit more picky with your aesthetic taste. What the hell does that mean, EJ? Let me show you. Case in point right here. So this is a great vintage, just to kind of shift gears just for a second. This is a vintage toy sun rubber car from like 1940. It's made of rubber. This is made in Barberton, Ohio, another Ohio product. I have an idea for a show. Ohio products. There we go. Note to self. Barberton, Ohio. Now this, as a kid, I got this for Christmas as a kid when I was 8. This toy right here is what made me become what I am today, a vintage and antique dealer. This ignited my passion for some unknown reason. So my point is this: as a kid, before eBay, you had to go to antique stores and antique malls and flea markets and really hunt these down. And you might find 2 or 3 a year, but when you found it, it was like, oh my God. It's like, God, I love it. So precious. And then fast forward to now, 2024, you can buy this card, any color, and there's probably 10 of them or more. And they're all like $12. So it took the thrill of the hunt away. But as a collector, now I can be picky about the aesthetic, the aesthetics, the patina. Do I want a lot of paint missing? Do I want paint missing? Do I want chips? Do I want kid paint? Sometimes, yes, I want one that was painted by a kid. Yes, I want one that has some paint missing, because that's just what makes my eye happy. That's the fun of collecting vintage and antique items, in my opinion, because it's almost like a half art. And by that I mean it's not true art, because true art is made with emotion and intention behind it, and can be very expensive. But antique items, it's a result of, if you believe in time, of the passage of time, or just circumstance. It was dropped 500 times. It was rolled down the stairs by 2 generations of kids. Those things to me make it original and unique and make it valuable. That's why you need to be you and original, because you're valuable too, right? That's why my ideas about eBay and how it's taken some of the fun out of hunting for antiques, but it's kind of also brought a new like lens to hunting for antiques. It's definitely different though. eBay is an amazing 24-hour bazaar. You can walk through at all times. I've been around the world. I've been to Thailand. I lived in China, and I used to love walking markets, night markets, antique markets, people watching, just looking for weird relics of bygone eras. And eBay is that. It's just virtual, right? And I'm kind of like your virtual antique Mr. Rogers with an edge. Get it? Edge, EJ? Sorry. Should we have to apologize after puns? That should be a polling question. Are puns, apologetic and unapologetic? I don't know. I'm getting mad. All right, so I don't believe, back to this guy, I don't believe this is an actual baby or nursing belt. I think this is maybe someone out there knows. This could be like a figural of a. I don't think it's ink. I don't think it's like shoe polish. I don't know what it is, but the glass is quite thin. I would guess this to be from like 1890. That's when you started seeing the molds. And again, the molds are these lines. So if you have a bottle, you're like, well, how old is it? I can kind of help you really, really quick. If you see a line down it going all the way up to the neck, that means it's probably, it can't usually be older than 1880, give or take a few years. 1875, around there. You know, if your bottle does not have those lines, if you look, I'll use my deer bottle. If you have a bottle like this where you can't find a line anywhere, you look and there's no lines, that means it's hand blown. A hand blown bottle. I mean, the Romans had glass, but those you don't really find at your typical flea market. Hand blown bottles were made from basically like the year 1600 up until the year 1880. In Europe, though, the tradition of hand blown bottles used in commerce was kept longer than in the US. So there is a possibility you could find a hand blown bottle used for utilitarian purposes or merchant purposes after 1880. If you do, it's probably European origin. But it's safe to say, you know, as a rule of thumb or whatever, if there's no seam on your bottle, it's probably before 1875. And then if you have a lot of scratches, well, then it could be old as hell. It could be, you know, 1700s. You know, if it's, I mean, the shape of the bottle can help dictate the age. All right, so this is the Figural. Let me get this out of the way. We have more. Let's look at more. We are live here at Vintage Collecting Solutions. I'm your host, EJ Parker. What is this? This is new old stock. This is, what is this? This is called the Rego infant feeder for administering food to babies not strong enough to feed normally. Approximately 1 1/4 ounce. Let's see, for feeding premature and weakly infants, fitted with pure latex nipples. Let's see what's inside, shall we? Oh, wow. This is a baby bottle. Moment of discovery. Holy crap. This is delicate. Look at this. This is for weakly or premature babies. Oh, the nipple's still soft. That's rare. To me, that means they added some kind of agent to make to keep that. That's crazy. It's like an amber. This is, wow. This is an original nipple. Wow, it's still soft. Let's see how old this is. Number 83, folks. My name is EJ Parker. I'm your host live here at Vintage Classic Solutions. I'm your host and curator. I'm your starship operator. We are looking at vintage and antique, or mostly very old antique nursing bottles, circa 1870s. 83. Let's see what number 83 is. 83. Okay, here we go. The Brecht Infant Feeder, miniature. Circa unknown to the present time. Interesting. A feeding tube rather than a bottle. It has a pull-on nipple at one end and a rubber squeeze cap at the other. It's used for feeding weak or premature infants. Clear unmarked glass. Capacity is around 1 to 1.5 ounces. It's from Canada. Rego. So the age is unknown at the present time. And when that was written, this is probably like this is probably 1992. So back then they didn't know the date of this. Let's see if AI does. Let's use ChatGPT to see if it knows more. So we're using actual textbooks written by a human. We're using actual intelligence, and now we're going to use artificial intelligence, and let's see if that augments our experience. I'm your host, EJ Parker. It's natural intelligence up in here. I'm not sure how much of it, but there's some. All right, so I took a photo. I'm showing ChatGPT right now. It's thinking about it. Let's see, it's thinking. I didn't even ask it. Let's just say, okay. I'll read what it says. This image shows a vintage Rego Brecht infant feeder. It's in the original box. Correct. It was designed to administer food to babies who are not strong enough to feed naturally. The feeder holds approximately 1.5 ounces and consists of glass tube and a plug, rubber wooden plug. What if AI just watched this live stream right now and just like fed back to me what I just said to you like a minute ago? That's gonna happen because right now I asked this Chat GPT when does it update its knowledge database, and it said like it's not live. Some AI does a live feed from the internet. So what that hypothetically means is I could be doing a live chat right now about something, even giving you false information about something, and then ask Chat GPT, and would it go and just kind of like watch the video really quick and be like, Brant. Interesting. I'll keep reading. This type of infant feeder was likely used in the early to mid 20th century, before more modern baby bottles became widespread. Collectors often seek such items for their historical significance and design. Let me know if you need more information. I'll say, what's your best guess on age? What's your best guess on age? Let's see.
Hey, it's great to meet.
No, I don't want to speak to you. Just please. I don't know what happened. I lost it. All right, whatever. So, yeah, that was right. It did pull up the right information as far as what I know about it from this book. Early mid 20th century. Yeah, if I had to guess this, even from that, you can see like that writing, that like old school, old timey like charcoal, like a charcoal pencil. I would say, I don't know. Man, if I had, this is a Canadian. I don't see a date. I would guess 19. Is there more information on this thing? No. I don't know. 1930? I don't think 20. It could be. No. 1930, 1940? What do you think? Let me get some more music happening. My name is EJ Parker. I am your host and curator live here at Vintage Classic Solutions. We love all things vintage and antique and beautiful and unique, just like you and me. Sweet agua. It's been really hot out here on White Sand Beach. We have a lot of white sand outside right now. Very tropical and sandy. White Sand Beach is what I call my snow blizzard life. I'm in Ohio. You gotta have fun in December, otherwise you kind of go loopy, right? A lot of snow. I'm gonna put this back in the box. I don't believe this is in my eBay store right now, but it will soon be there. I'm selling. This is one of those collections that I am selling most of everything you see before you, simply because I can't store it all. This one I got a list. I don't think this one's in my store, so I got to get that one up in my store. Let me put that one back. We have more. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. All right. Oh, there's a lot more. All right, more of this. More new super old stock. What is this? Oh wow, I don't even think I've seen this one yet. Grip tight. Jeez, these graphics. Man, look at that. Little kid, little baby on like a flying pillow. Man, what year is this? So this has got to be British, because this is what did we learn today, folks? Double-ended feeder, aka banana boat. These were mostly used within England. Let's see if there's a date on this. Complete with teat and valve. Made in England. Wow, look at this. I have not looked at this one yet. This is a discovery for me as well. This is from a very historic and rare collection of antique baby bottles from my earliest one that I've sold is from like the late 1600s, and it was made of tin. It was, I think, a Pioneer baby bottle from Pennsylvania, and it was made of tin, and the nipple was tin. It was. I had two of them, and they both sold. Do I dare open this? I do. I'm a risk taker, folks. I'm a professional antique and vintage dealer. My name is EJ Parker. Thanks for checking in. All right, I'm gonna try this end. Oh man, this has to be from. I don't know. This has to be from. This is no later than 1920. Whoa, this is pretty. It's embossed. This box hasn't been out of that box probably in 50 years. It's embossed and it says tablespoon. It's like you're measuring on the side. Probably made in England. Let's see what's in the box. Any like wrinkled up $1,000 bill? What's it? Oh, what? Look at the nipple. Get out of town. Look at this nipple. Look at this. This is ridiculous. Frozen in time. Rubber nipples. Man, oh man. Smells like it should. Something else in there. Whoa. Oh, wow. Wait, what? This is another rubber nipple from the other side, I guess. This still feels like semi-pliable. And what is this? Must be like an old price tag. $18. Like an old antique, like an antique store price tag. I love finding antique store price tags. Like I'll go to like Barnes, like antique barn sales, and there'll be like a chair. I love like old lighter back chairs, kind of like what I'm sitting on now. This is from 1880. Yeah, this is a really old chair. But sometimes you flip them over and there'll be like an antique price tag. You know what I mean? It'll be, and that that's kind of a trip, like a time capsule in itself. All right, let me put this back. So wait, do we know how old this is? Let's check the book out. Grip tight. Let me consult my book here. Thanks for joining. My name is EJ Parker. I'm your host live here at Vintage Classic Solutions. We're looking at a historic collection of baby bottles. The music in the background is all written and composed by yours truly. I'm even playing the bass. All right. This. Grip tight. Okay, so her English ones are not in the actual book. She has her notes here. Look at this. The author of this book back in 1992, Miss Diane Ostrander, diligently made these notes. She didn't feature the English ones in the book. Back then in 1992, it was worth $50 US. Now it's, I'm sure, worth a little bit more. There are now. When I bought this, this is for vintage and antique dealers or aspiring antique vintage dealers. When I bought this collection, I bought 11 boxes of these. I didn't even go through them. I just bought it sight unseen. I didn't see them when I bought them, and I didn't know, is there like a built-in market of collectors for these old baby bottles? And there is. There used to be, I know, expos devoted to these. There still may be. There's publications, or at least there were publications devoted to these kind of bottles. So there is an interest, and I've sold them. So I've had great days selling these where I've sold a lot of baby bottles. Usually what happens is collectors will all of a sudden discover my store, and they'll buy like 7 bottles. It's great because they're like, they're overwhelmed by this plethora of super old and rare baby bottles that you just don't see anywhere. Man, these old boxes are just stressful because they're so fragile. I don't want to break them, but I mean, what can you do though? This cardboard's so just old. Yikes! I don't think there's a trick to it besides just being super careful. All right, so that one's going back in the box. There's more. What is it? All right. This is something different. Take a look at this. This, to me, looks very Victorian. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe you know. But we're going to find out together. This is made in a mold. I would say, like, this is like done by a machine. Human hands behind the machine to close it or whatever, but I think that's a mechanical processed bottle. Let me check our jar actually. Let me consult the guidebook here while I adjust the music. Let's see. All right. I forget what this is. G17. Let's find out together, shall we? G17. All right, here we go. Oh, wow. So this is, it says Goodrich, embossed in a seal. Circa 1900. Blown in a mold, 8 ounce. It's a wide mouth jar. This may be a product of the Goodrich Rubber Company out of Akron, Ohio. Wow. It looks like it's got roses. Yeah, it's like a rose bush. So this wasn't a baby bottle. Doesn't say what it was. The glass is cloudy and it's super scratchy. I mean, you can tell it's definitely very old. And this has that Victorian era paint, right? It's like that gold gild wannabe kind of extremely opulent looking. Glass isn't very clear, so I mean it does look quite old. I wonder what that was from though. It doesn't say what was in it. Don't know. Let's see what else we got here. Bottles everywhere. All right, let's look at one of these. So we looked at some figurals before. And again, a figural is a bottle shaped like a thing, right? This is a figural of a crying baby. Figurals are a very collectible genre of old bottles. These two flasks are figurals as well. There's a big one and a small one. Now, these you can buy on eBay. Sometimes folks don't know what they are. These were reissued in the 60s, so be careful. These are from the late 1800s, believe it or not. These are blown in a mold with an applied lip. These are figurals of whisks or little hand brooms. Isn't that funny? I didn't even know that till I read it. I had to read. I had to like research it till I realized, oh, it's a broom, right? You see the bristles and the handle. These were part of a historic baby bottle collection. What was in this bottle 150 years ago? Your guess is as good as mine. But a baby bottle or a flask, it makes sense. You know what I mean? But these are also used for liquor as well, obviously. And be careful because these were reissued in the 60s and 50s. The way you can tell is by if the bottom shows a lot of scratches and the mold, the lip is usually applied, meaning it was blown in a mold and then the lip was added after the fact. And you can kind of see that it's like a piece of molten glass that has wrapped around it. And this is a larger one. I think these are for sale right now in my eBay store. These figural whisk flasks. Let me put those here. Now I have to show this next bottle because now I've showed it before, but I have to show it again because I'm not sure if everyone's seen this one, and it's extremely rare and extremely remarkable. I've shown it in some YouTube shorts. Let me show you. This is like the star of the show. This one doesn't even belong to me. All right, so this is a baby bottle, folks. As gorgeous and as slender and as non-baby bottle as it looks, it's a baby bottle. This is from around 1840s, 1830s, 1820s, give or take, blown in a New England glass house. This is Nailsea glass, which was designed in New England, in England, in Old England, and it was something about a way to avoid taxation. by mixing your. At first, I thought it was like a real fancy glass, like oh, it must be for rich people. But after I did some research, it was a way for glass blowers to somehow avoid a certain tax by recycling something. It was some, I forget the details, but it was quite interesting. But this was blown in the USA probably in the early mid 19th century. It's a transparent cranberry glass. I did a YouTube short asking the internet, guess what this is? I'm a brave man. And I got some great responses, by the way, and thank you for being creative with your ideas of what this is. So the way this works is this is the nipple end, and that could be a nipple of like a pickled cow's teat, or leather tied, or some kind of cloth nipple. And then on this end would be your vent. It's an opening there. It'd be hard to clean. Now, how is this made? This is the part that I like. So this collection came with this steer horn because it was used as a primitive mold to make these baby bottles back in the early 1800s, and I'm sure before that. So your glass blower would blow the molten glass into the horn, let it cool, pull it out, and then you'd have your baby bottle. Isn't that crazy? No, I mean, I guess it's kind of ergodynamic for a baby, but it's a piece of freaking glass. I don't even want to think about, the potential of danger. But that's it. I mean, I've never seen one of these before. I never say never, but it's going to be hard to find another one. This is the kind of thing, like I said before, if you found this at an antique store, I believe the sellers wouldn't know what it is. I mean, 'cause I wouldn't know if I didn't have the guidebook. You know what I mean? It looks like a gourd, right? Like a hanging gourd. So that's a very rare, I mean, I've never seen one before. Maybe you have. A very rare historic baby bottle. Let me put that back in its resting place before I break it. That one does not belong to me. I was going to sell it, but a wise person said, don't do it, EJ. And I'm happy I didn't, so I could show it to all of you. All right. There are a ton more baby bottles in this collection, and I can't possibly show them all in one sitting because there's just too many. How I'm gonna have to approach these are, box by box, and I'll put that even in the titles of these videos for you and for me, because I'll forget which boxes I want because there's just so many. I have a box that goes back further. So these boxes are like kind of by date. These are like 1870. We looked at bottles from like 1870s to like 1900. I have some boxes that go back further, like 1850s. So we can go back further in time, and then we can come back a little bit closer. I have bottles from, everything. The teens, 1920s. Those are some really nice bottles. The 1920s bottles, Pyrex bottles. I have some ones in the original boxes. I'll have to get those ready for showtime. Let me think what else I have in front of me right now. If you like this kind of stuff, please just go ahead and subscribe. I have a lot more bottles to show. Long enough to sit next to the kid and feed it. Yeah. ACB. Yeah. Maybe you could. Yeah. That's a good idea. Is that get that long neck? Yeah, you're right. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to end this live stream and get something to eat and get some more coffee and probably exercise and think about my next move and probably go out and find some more vintage and antique items before the snow hits. Here on White Sand Island, it snows a lot. There's a lot of white sand, aka snow, outside. Let me show you. Let me get a little taste of what I'm dealing with. You can even see it out there. It's just like it's up to the window of snow. So I have to undig my car and stuff. And then we're getting more snow tonight. So I have to get things done. But I really want to thank you for joining me, looking at this collection of very old historic baby bottles. There's more of it. Please subscribe if you like this. And as always, thanks for checking in.